स्वागतम् अद्य बुधवासरः नूतनस्य मासस्य द्वितीयो दिनाङ्कः 2nd of November Wednesday सायंकालः व्याकरणविचारः बहुव्रीहि समासप्रकरणम् मङ्गलाचरणम् रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमू रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं रामे चित्तलयस्तदा भूतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर राम रामेति रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम नाम वरानन ओं नमः इति। अथ श्री माहेश्वर सूत्राणि अ इ उण् ऋ ऋक् ए ओङ् ऐ औच् ह य व रट् लण् ञ म ङ ण नम् जबङ् घडदश् जब गडदश् ख फ छ ठ च च ट थ व क पै श ष सर् हल् इति माहेश्वर सूत्राणि। Okay, first I'd like to make two corrections from Shuddhikaranam, Kshamapanam. So please excuse the errors. One error was in a class, 2 classes back. We had this compound here. I think this was in the class of, towards the end of the class. So this was the class of October 12th. So this is 2-3 weeks ago. I'm sorry, I meant to correct this in the prior class. The only small error that I made here was we are trying to derive this compound from this man matru ratnani, mama matuh ratnani iti vigraha. It's shashti samasa, nothing really special. So, but in that, what I did was that when deriving this compound, the vigraha vakyam, Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam, I was trying to make the point that Asmad becomes Mad. And that time, I had this, now I've already made the correction. It is, so Dosha Nivaranam Kritam, Dosho Nivaritaha. It is now corrected, but I had, instead of Matru, I had Mata in here. That is not correct. In the Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam, this should be the Pratipadikam Matru only. Should not be Mata. So if you look at the recording, you had here Mata, which is wrong. It should be Matru. Then only when we decline it afterwards, then only we will be able to make it from Mata by the Sutram, the Anangadesha. So that's only when we decline that. So Anangadesha, Hrudushanas, Kurudam, So, Neha, Sancha. That's only after we bring in the Supratyaya after the whole compound. But right now, this is part of a bigger compound, Man Matru Ratnani. This is the part of the previous homework, the last lesson's homework. I'm sorry I'm late in correcting this error. I was going to correct it. And the form is fine, everything is fine. This is this example number, question number 7 on page 136 for our lesson. Anyway, the error was that in the Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam, I had Mata instead of Matru. So that was the only thing. Should be the Pratipadikam Matru only should be here, not Mata. It should be Matru, end in Matru only. Of course, the point to be made here was that the Asmad becomes takes the Asma takes the Mad Adesha. That was this Sutram, which is 7-98. That was the whole point of putting the Vigraha Vakyam. But I have made a careless error in the Uttarapadam. So this is Pratyayottarapadayoshcha was the sutram that we used that time. Anyway, so that in the Vigraha Vakyam there is no, it's only Matru Pratipadikam. And then last class, I think towards the end, I was a little bit made one small error in the last class, which was we were on in the book we are on this point number 6. Dhanus becomes Dhanvan at the end of a Bahuri compound. We have Sharanga Dhanva, Pinaka Dhanva, these are all compounds. So what happened was that in the Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam, in a hurry, Tvaravashat, in a hurry, I put in the Vigraha Vakyam, I put Dhanush by mistake, should be Dhanus. The Vigraha Vakyam, towards the end of last class, this had Dhanush, should be Dhanus. The Pratipadikam is Dhanus. There's a bit of a controversy anyway. That's not today's topic. It is, we'll keep Dhanus only over here, not Dhanush. So I had the Murdhanya Shakara at the end over here. It should be Dhanus in the Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam. Should be Dhanus and Dhanus. Okay, of course, anyway, it doesn't make a difference in the end. We get the Ananga Adesha. But still, we should put Dhanus over here, not Dhanush. Okay, that was two small errors from the last one from the last class and one from our class. Okay, now continuing with the same page, we are doing the Samasanta Prakaranam from Bahuvrihi Samasanam. So it is as Bahuvrihi Samas Vishayakam. Samas, we can use the Kap Pratyaya now, right? Samasanta Prakaranam. So we are on page 137. Last time we finished this point number 6. The point number 7 says, just to refresh your memory again, is that the Tadhitaha, first of all, Pratyaha Parashcha start from 311, and then always keep the larger map in your head. Ashtadhyayi Rachana, Sada Smaraniya. Then from 411 starts Nya Pratipadikat, and from 4176 starts the Tadhitaha, and then these are all subsets, Antargatam. And then Tadantaragatam Prakaranam is the Samasantaha. And in Samasantaha also there is the Bahuvrihis start from here, which we saw last time. Bahuvriho Satyakshno Swanga Chachaham. So this is the section that we are going to examine now. We did some last time. And now we are going to look at this sutram today, which is 5.4.135, 137. So right now we are in this part here. Gandhasyedut puti su surabhibhyaha. That's what we're doing right now. So one more time, we are in the Samasanta Prakaranam. Never lose track of the Ashtadhyayi. Always, any tattvam, Vyakarana tattvam, always ask, where in the Ashtadhyayi are we? Maybe a Vartikam, maybe a Paribhasha, but always know where in the Ashtadhyayi we are. So here we have Samasanta Prakaranam and from Bahuvriha from 54113 up to the end of 54. Apada Samaptehe. Okay, so what does the sutram say? It says is Gandha becomes Gandhi and preceded by Ud, Puti, Su, Surabhi, or by a term of comparison. This term of comparison is 54137, which is the Upamanacha. Okay, let's look at these two rules and take some examples. So here we are on in the document. I've kept the document ready so we don't have to spend time in the class typing these things. So Gandhasyedut puti sura. Gandhasyedut puti su surabhibhya. Any new Panini Sutram chanted a few times, that's the most efficient thing that you can do. Gandhasyedut puti su surabhibhya. Ebhya means following these, which is the ud or puti or su or surabhi. These four. Ebhya gandhasya ikaraha. Gandhasya ikaro antadesha syat. So it takes the ikara as antadesha. It takes the antadesha. Look at the Gandhasya. Gandhasya is a Shashti Ekvachanam. Even though we are in the section of Pratyaha Parashcha. First of all, as you know, the Samasanta, they are strange, Vichitra Pratyaha. Because they become Samasasya Antavayavaha. They become Antyavayavaha. They become the ending part of the compound, which already we have seen and discussed. So these pratyaya kind of go and mix in with the pratipadikam. They become a part of the compound. And in this case, we are going to get substitution. See, Samasantaha, they go and they become the ending member of the compound, but they don't substitute anything normally, because it's still Pratyaha Parashcha. It comes after the term, but becomes an ending member of the term. But these, some of these, which we saw in the last class, we saw one of these, like even when we did the word dhanus, when we had, so from here also we had dhanushascha. This was also a, I think starting from here, parasamhyam jananor nyuh. Here Panini specifically uses the shashti dvivachanam, just to show us that we are talking about adeshaha. In fact, last time when we saw the sutram dhanushascha, we made a comment that is this dhanushaha, is it a panchami ekvachanam, is it shashti ekvachanam? In the case of gandhasya, it is, sandhya nasti, shashtyantam eva etad. So this has to be shashtyantam. But dhanushascha could be panchamyantam va, shashtyantam va. So that time we made the, not we made, means from the Tattvabodhini took this comment which says that the sahacharyat nitvashravanacha syadeshatvam, because Panini made the adesha of ananga adesha. So the fact that the anang, the nit has put in the adesha means that it is an adesha, because the sutra nitya, these four rules which I mention all the time, the moment you see an adesha, you think of this sutra chatushtayam, think of this sutra chatushtayam, which is alontyasya nitya adef parasya anekachis sarvasya. The nitya comes only applies to adesha. So the fact that Panini has made the anang as a term which is in prathama, so now that is anyatha nitkaranam vyartham syat. So the nitkarana samarthyat adesho iti gamyate, adesha iti gamyate, and sahacharyat, because it is in association with the sutras which went and which are coming after it are talking about adesha. Because from here, from the janunor, this is shashti devachanam, from there adesha start. So there is all these adeshas. So that's how we figured out that dhanushaha is a shashti ekvachanam signaling an adesha, not panchami ekvachanam. So same thing is happening here. Gandhasya shashti ekvachanam, because shashti sthane yoga. Shashti sthane yoga. So this sutram 1149 is shashti sthane yoga. So we are going to make an adesha here. Otherwise sutram itself is quite simple. All it says is that ebhya is following this word ut, this pradi, which is ut, the word puti, this su is also pradi, or surabhi. These four, gandhasya ikaradi antadeshasya. This is the ending substitutes the end. Now one thing that happens here is that let me see, did I put the comment here? Now the question is that we have a panchami ekvachanam in the sutram. Okay, we have a shashti, but then we also have panchami ekvachanam, which is utputi sura surabhibhyaha. Sorry, utputi su surabhibhyaha. Utputi su surabhibhyaha. Now again going back to that sutra chatushtayam, we have the sutra which is adef parasya. Now what do we take alontyasya here and replace the ending member? But adef parasya says that if we have a parasya, so because we have this one is saying that this gandha, when following one of these four, takes the ikara has the antadesha. Now normally we would use adef parasya. When adesha is to be done following something, when the panchami nirdesha is there, then we take the beginning member of that term which is to be replaced and replace that. That becomes the sthani, just to be replaced. One more time. Here this is a panchami bahuvachanam. I'm sorry, panchami bahuvachanam. Panchami nirdesha is there. So when an adesha is prescribed with the panchami nirdesha, normally adef parasya comes. Adef parasya. It says that the beginning member of that term is to be replaced. But then that is not the ishtakaryam. That is not what we want here. So what we invoke here is that the fact that this is a samasanta prakaranam, samasantaha Panini say, that's why its adhikara is so important. So normally adef parasya would have come and say replace the beginning letter, which is the gakara of gandha, would have been replaced. The gakara of gandha would have been replaced because of panchami nirdeshat adef parasyati gamyate. Tanna bhavati samasantaha iti prakaranam vartate tasmat, because samas anta is a prakaranam. Even though adef parasya, even though Panini says ut puti su surabhibhya, we still have to respect the adhikara here, and we only replace the ending letter of gandha, not the beginning gakaraha. So the antasya akarasya sthane ikaradesha bhavati, natu adehe natu adyasya gakarasya sthane. So I hope I made that clear, is that this is a panchami. So following these terms, gandha takes ikaradesha. Normally adef parasya 1154, which means the gakara would have taken the ikaradesha. Of course, this anishtam, this is not what we want, but how do we avoid that? Because of this adhikara of samas anta. So these are coming at the end of the compound. So because of this adhikara, we go back to basically alontyasya from the end of the compound. Otherwise, sutram is very straightforward, spashtam. So in a bahuvri compound, again, why bahuvrihi? Because again the adhikara is there. Anuvritti is coming from this bahuvri how from 5, 4, 1, 1, 3. One thing in this class I hope I've emphasized many times is keep always respect the Mula Shastram, which is the Ashtadhyayi. So this is here bahuvri how starts from here. So in a bahuvri compound, if the gandha is uttarapadam is gandha, and the pura padam is either ut, puti, su, or surabhi, then the ending akara, we just talked about that, of gandha takes the ikara desha. So let's take an example here. Udgato gandho yasya udgandhi vayuho. Now any bahuvri compound, because it is anyapada pradhanaha, tasmad visheshanatvam labhyate, it becomes a adjective. So there is some other term outside the compound which is driving this compound. So that means this compound is an adjective. So we can put in the bracket, it's like, it could be anything, but udgandhi, you can see udgandhi pushpam, you could have said this is a flower from which the fragrance emanates, the smell which is like it jumping out of it, coming out of it. Udgataha gandho yasya saha, it has come out of it. So it can be anybody. We have put vayu over here. You can say udgandhi pushpam, whatever, you can say something. So now let's first form the compound first. That's why what we did was, if you notice in the book, we didn't take this in the beginning of even though in the book he has put them in the beginning of this chapter. First we went to this how to form this compound. Unless you can form the compound, you cannot appreciate the samasanta pratyaha. So now this is the udgata plus su plus gandha plus su anekamanya padarthe. Then saptami visheshane bahuvrihau, because this is for a pura nipataha. We talked in the last class is that in bahuvri compounds, because sarvopasarjanaha bahuvrihi, sarvopasarjanaha. Every term in the bahuvri compounds take the pasarjana sanya as a general rule. So therefore our sutram 2-30, which is the pasarjanam puram, will not help us. So we have to go to saptami visheshane bahuvrihau. So this tells us that the visheshanam will come first. So udgataha, also the sutram nishtha also is there. We could also actually use the word nishtha, nishthantam padam, puram nipatyate. So that if there's any doubt, then the nishthantam padam always come first. Also, of course, a lot of these have exceptions, but for the time being, we can do that and until we find the exceptions. So udgata gandha, the samudaya gets the pradipika sanya by krutya samasascha, supluk by supo dhatu pradipika yoho. We get the vartikam which you have seen, pradibhyo jhatu jasya vacho vachotra padalopaha, like the compound vidhava which we saw, which is vigataha dhavaha yasyaha sa, so that vigata. So following a pradi, the dhatu just be the krudantasya padas krudantasya vikrudantam, the participle can optionally be dropped. The example in which Ashta Kashika gives was praparnaha. So prapatitani parnani yasya praparnaha. So purapadantaragatasya uttarapadasya dhatu jasya is participle lopo vacha ityartha. So this gata, so gata iti padam gatam, the gata goes away, and then we get udgandhi. Now at this point, we have udgandha right now. Now we do have the gandha is uttarapadam, we have ud as the uttara padam, as the pura padam. So the condition, we have bahuvri compounds, everything is satisfied. Gandhasya it, ut, uti, su, surabhibhya. And so therefore, and the logic which we discussed earlier, that this is a samasanta prakaranam, so we will not go by adev parasya, we'll put at the end of the compound, and so akarasya sthani ikaradeshaha udgandhi, udgandhi. Let's see, 1, 3, 3, I think we don't need this, I think. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, the it is the adeshaha, so halantyam, halantyam, taparastat kalasya, halantyam, so the anubandha lopaha, then we went back to alontyasya because of this logic which we talked about. So udgandhi, same thing we can say is uti gandhi vayu, which is, you know, rotten smell, uti gandhi. So you can say putihi gandha yasya saha, someone whose smell is rotten. Same thing sugandhi, very nice. You can say sugandhi pushpam, so shobhanam, shobhanaha gandha yasya tat pushpam. So it is it's a flower which has wonderful smell, nice smelling flower. So sugandhi. Surabhi is also fragrant smell, surabhi gandhi pushpam, surabhi gandhi vayuho. So again, these are these four terms which are ud, puti, su and surabhi, following which the gandhar takes the ikaradesha, antadesha and the bahuvri compound. Now this sutram, which is the next one in the book, which we just saw, is the or by a term of comparison, and that is the sutram below that, and this one says upamanacha, very straightforward. There's nothing really too complicated about these rules. There's nothing really very complicated. I mean, you know, we're putting something at the end of a compound in a bahuvri compound, and you know, under these circumstances, that's all it is really. It's a very simple prakaranam. There's nothing really to scratch your head too much about. Upamanacha, same thing, we have panchami nirdeshaha, same logic there. So normally adev parasya, but then we samasantatvat alontyasya. Padmasya gandha, so following a term of comparison, I say in the book, it says padmasya gandha iva gandho asya padma gandhihi. So this is anything you can say it is a wind, or a wind which has the fragrance like that of a lotus. Padmasya gandha iva gandho asya saha. Now, okay, let's form the compound. First, padmasya gandha, straightforward, shashti tat purushaha, padma gandha. So it's a tat purusha compound. We say padma gandhasu, plus gandhasu, because padmasya gandha iva gandho yasya saha. So it becomes aneka manya padarthe, saptami visheshane bahuvrihav, then pradipalika sanya kritya samasascha supo dhatu pradipalika supluk. Now this vartikam we are going to see in detail. This vartikam is coming in detail, so just take it for the time being. We will look at it in detail. It is coming in the book on page number 139. We are going to see Svartikam on point number 205 in the book. We will be looking at this Svartikam, Chandrasya Shobha, Iva Shobha, Yasya Saha. So these kind of compounds which are called Ushramukha compounds, or in Bhagavad Gita example is Vrukodaraha, Bhimasenaha Vrukodaraha. So Vrukasya Udaram Iva Udaram Yasya Saha. So Bhimaha was one who had the stomach like a wolf. So we are going to see this Vartikam. So we will not go in all details right now. Basically, all it is saying is that, let's see, I put the Vartikam here, is that Saptam Yupamana Pura Padasya Uttara Padalopascha. If you have Upamana Pura Padam and Saptamyantam also, we don't need this for time being, just focus on the Upamana Uttara Pura Padam. So Saptamyantam or the Upamana Pura Padam, then the Uttara Padam of the Pura Padam takes, just like we had over here, similar to what we had over here. We had Udgata, and of course this case we had a Pradi followed by a Dhatujaha, Dhatujam, Skrudantam. Now what we have is, we have a Upamana Pura Padam, then Tasya Uttara Padasya Lopaha. So this is Upamanam, Padma Gandha. The compound should have been Padma Gandha Gandha. Padma Gandha Gandha. Like someone who's camel faced. Ushtrasya Mukham Eva Mukham Yasya Saha. Should be Ushtra Mukha Mukha. But that mukha, which is the uttara padam of the purva padam, takes lopaha. So we just say camel faced. Camel face. So same thing here, padma gandha gandha. By this vartikam is a vartikam also in 2.2.24. As I mentioned, this 2.2.24 has some important vartikani. So we have to remember 2.2.24. So we'll see this in detail on the next page, maybe today or maybe next class. So, but it simply says that if you have upamana purva padam like this, then the uttara padam, which is gandha, of that purva padam takes lopaha. So padma gandha by this vartikam. And then, so now we have a upamana purva padam. We have gandha as the uttara padam. So by the same logic, by upamana cha, we get the antadeshaha, which is the ikaraha. So same thing here, the adesha is it. So alantyam, tasya lopaha. And then we go back to alontyasya, and we don't take adef parasya. Even the upamanat is panchami ekvachanam. Do I have a typo here? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Namo Namaha, Satish ji.
Namo Namaha. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to mention, in Mahabharata, Satyavati had a Matsya Gandhi. So it's the same as
so yes, yeah. Yes, Matsyasya Gandha Iva Gandha Yasyaha sa. Correct. Very good. Yes, thank you. Matsya Gandhi.
And then I have another question.
Actually, they are on the wait. Hold on that point. We have to that point.
Yeah.
Interesting point that one is, because we are going to see, by the way, hold on to that Matsya Gandhi for the time being, because we are going to see in this lesson in the last page, on page 205, we're going to see the feminine of Bahuvri. That's another interesting topic. It's coming in two classes. So we come back to that example maybe at that time. So we have to see how these feminines, actually no, that will not make up, because that is only if you have a body part as Uttara Padam. So no, it will not, should not come into play over here. Should be only Matsya Gandhi, only it should be Matsya Gandhi, because these only on page 140 we are going to see some special rules for how to make a feminine of Bahuvris. Of course, Bahuvri is all adjectives, so we have to make feminine, and then but these are applying when there is a body part at the end. So yeah, no, that should not come. So Matsya Gandhi should be the form. Anyway, go ahead, sir. What's the next question?
Matsya Gandhi is not a body part. It's the smell of fish.
It's not.
Right?
It's not body part. So this is not. So these are not going to apply. So we don't need this. We don't need this. These are only for. So we will. So yeah, we don't need these, because these rules which are coming over here, by the way, that is not. We're going to see, I think, 2 classes from now, is this thing about the swangat. So that will not apply in Matsya Gandhi, because it's not a body part. So
The
needs to
other
apply.
question is,
Go ahead.
yeah, a few weeks ago, you gave an example of Krishna Chaturdashi.
Krishna Chaturdashi, yes.
Yeah, I just want to understand, like for example, in a Naraka Chaturdashi, it is a, like a festival, and it's involved in the Vishnu. He killed Narakasura.
Narakasura,
Yeah.
correct, yes.
So it identified some day in the festival days. What is Krishna? Krishna is Draupadi, right?
No,
What is Krishna?
no. Krishna Paksha, not Krishna, not that. Of the dark half of the moon.
Yeah, but here Krishna Chaturdashi.
Correct.
Right, one you taught few weeks ago.
It's going to come today, by the way. That is coming. That is going to come today.
Okay, then I will wait.
No, it's
I will
coming.
wait.
It's coming today. It is coming down in this point in the book when we're going to study this one. It's coming in number 10. It's coming in number 10, by the way. Number 10.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, is there any significance of that?
No. That is not Draupadi anything. That is just simply the dark half of the month. That's
okay. All right.
No. Krishna Varna. It's not Sanya over there. No. That is very straightforward. Krishna means, it's just from the dark half of the moon. That's all.
Okay, thanks.
And we're going to come back to it. We'll come back to that when we do it. Okay, but that's a good example. Matsya Gandhi, yes. Matsyasya Gandha eva Gandha Yasyaha sa. Matsya Gandhi. Okay, now, Okay, so that is this point in the book, which is point number 7. So Padma Gandhi, so Padmasya Gandha iva Gandho Yasya, Padmasya Gandha iva Gandho Yasya Saha. You can say Vayu in this case, or you can say Padmasya Gandha iva Gandho Yasya Tat Kamalam. Either way, Gandha becomes Gandhi because you have this Upamana Pura Padam. Okay, the next point in the book, which is again, we're not taking all the rules in this section, just following what's in the book gives you a flavor. The pada becomes pat when preceded by a term of comparison, a number or su. So we just saw this sutra Upamanacha, which was 54137, 54137, and then Anantaram Sutram, which is the padasya lopo hastadibhya. Padasya lopo hastadibhya. Padasya lopo hastyadibhya. So ahastyadibhya. So as long as the term hasti etc. is not preceding, then pada takes lopaha, which means that the ending akaras antyasya akarasya lopaha, and then sankhya supurvasya. So which is if you have a number as the purapadam, sankhya-vachaka shabda, purapadam, or su is a purapadam, you'll get also the same thing, padasya lopaha. So this is again nothing very complicated at all. Again, padasya shashti ekvachanam, shashti sthane yoga, still talking about an adesha. Of course, it's an adesha. You can look at this, a lopaha. I mean, lopa is going to be an adesha, right? So it is. Okay, so let's look at these two rules. Nothing very complicated. So padasya lopo hastyadibhyaha. Hastyadi varjitat upamanat parasya padashabdasya lopasyat samasanto bahuvrihau. Always, please read the vritti of the sutram, because people have spent their entire lives with great, enormous care, write these vrittis for us. So the exact meaning of the sutram is available to us. Particularly, Bhattuji Dikshitaha. He wrote Siddhanta Kaumudi. He cleaned up, she should say cleaned up, but he wrote the proper vrittis. So any sutram you read from the Ashtadhyayi, immediately read the vritti by Bhattuji Dikshitaha as a mark of respect for him, who has basically made Vyakaranam, kept it alive for us today. Honestly speaking, without him, Vyakaranam was not in good shape. So anyway, so he has really revolutionized the science. So this vritti is very important. So because it takes into account all anuvritti, etc. So sutram has pradhanyam, of course, but immediately after that read the vritti. So hastyadi varjitat. So, and you can also learn how to speak in Sanskritam, by the way, because this is really Shuddham Sanskritam. What these grammarians speak is the purest Shuddhatamam Sanskritam. So they will not break a single rule. So hastyadi varjita dupamanat parasya padashabdasya lopasya samasanto bahuvrihau samasantaha. Then sthani dvarena ayam samasantaha. Then because it's a lopaha, it replaces the last member of the compound, so that is how it becomes a samasantaha. This is from the Tattvabodhini maybe. So the Siddhanta Kaumudi has the Tattvabodhini is the important commentary on that. So sthani dvarenayam samasantaha is coming as, because how does it become, if it's a lopaha, how does it become a samasanta? It's replacing the ending member of the compound. So udaharanam vyagrasya padaviva padavasya vyagrapat. Somebody whose feet are like the feet of a tiger, vyagrapa. So same thing again, vyagrasya, just like we had in the Padma Gandha, same thing, Padma Gandhi. So we first make a Shashti Tatpurushaha, Shashti Samasaha, Vyagrasya Padau, Vyagrapadau, then Vyagrapada Au, Pada Au. So Vyagrasya Pada Padau Iva Padau Yasya Saha, Anekamanya Padarthe, and then Saptami Visheshane Bahuvrihau, Pradipadika Sanya Kritita Samasascha Supodhatu Pradipadikayoho. Same Vartikam, which you're going to see in maybe today or in the next class. Saptam Yupamana Purapadasyottarapada Lopascha. So we have Vyagrapada becomes Vyagrapada. And then now what we have is we do have a Bahuvri compound. We do have a pada as uttara padam. We do have upamana pura padam. So everything is satisfied. Always check the vritti like a lawyer. Hastyadi varjitad upamanat parasya. Pada shabdasya lopasya samasanta bahuvrihav. So we and same thing here. We don't go for the adef parasya because it's samasantaha. So we revert to alontyasya, become vyagrapad. The one small note over here is that when we decline this, we need to wait pratama ekavachanam su upadeshajana nasikayit hanyabhyo dirgha sutisya pruktam hal become vyagrapad. Then pratyalopi pratyalakshanam suptingantam padam pratyalopi pratyalakshanam suptingantam padam. And then after that we will first get the jalam yashvante, and then which won't change the form. Then vavasane, by vavasane vyagrapad. Now one thing here is that when the angam has the bhasanya, then padafpata will apply. Padafpata. So 64130. That is not today's topic, but I just want to mention on the side that padafpata. So this when the in the bhasyadikaraha, it starts from 64129. Start this prakarana of bhasya, pada, very first sutra. So if there is a angam in the angasya dikara, we don't forget that, ending in pada, and that has the bhasanya, then it takes the pat adesha, padasya pat. So that pada takes the pat adesha, anekachya sarvasya. So if you look at quickly over here, if you want, in the vritti of 64130, padafpata. So when we have the by yachibham, when the angam gets the bhasanya, and padafpata will come. So pad shabdantam, sorry, it should be ending in path, not pada, but pad. So this is pada, is pad shabdantam yadangam bham tadavayavasya pad shabda. So pada is a shashti ekvachanam, shashti of pad. So pada is shashti ekvachanam of pad. So it should end in pad, not pada, but pad. This is what we have because we have vyagrapad right now. So pad shabdantam yadangam bham should have bhasanya. Tadavayavasya pad shabdasya padadeshaha. So here we have vyagrapad. So if you take the dvitiya bhochanam, for example, we take vyagrapad plus shas, nashakvatadite, na vibhaktautu smaha, vyagrapad as. Now because of yachibham, because swadishva suranamasthana yachibham. So from the suranamasthana will be, suranapumsakasya. So swa just out. When we take shas, it is ajadipatya. Also, as usual reminder, when deciding what is ajadi, what is haladi, what is anekach, ekach, everything, anubandha lopaha. Tat paschadeva nirnaya kartavya. Only then. So anubandha lope as, now it's ajadipatya, but yachibham, it's the bhasanya, then padafpata. So padantam we have this angam as the bhasanya, the pad takes the paddadeshaha. So it becomes vyagrapadaha. Vyagrapadaha. So vyagrapadaha is the dvitiya bhuvachanam, padafpada. So that is the only thing which remember over here. Nothing to do with samasanta prakaranam, but just to remind you of this padafpada. That's all. Now, so that only comes when the angam has the bhasanya. Now it says ahastyadibhyaha, hastipadaha. So hastinaha pada viva padau yasya saha. So one who is elephant legged, one who has legs like an elephant. Hastyadi is a ganaha in the ganapashaha. So if hasti etc. hastin, one of these terms is the purapadam, then we don't apply this sutram because it says ahastyadibhyaha. The Panini says hastyadibhyaha. So because it says hastyadi varjitad pumanat. So hastinaha pada viva padau yasya saha. Then we cannot use this. So it will be hastipadaha only. It will not be hastipad. Okay, then the sutra which we need is for the next thing in the book, sankhya supurvasya. Same thing, which is padasya lopas syat samasanto bahuvrihav. So if you have a sankhya as a purapadam or su as a purapadam, then and pada is uttarapadam, pada is uttarapadam, then lopasyat. So we get the, so dvau padau yasya saha comes in the Vedavakyam. Shanno astu dvipade, shan chatuspade. You must have heard that many, many times if you go to a temple sometimes. So, dvipade, chatuspade, shanno astu. So may all our two-legged and four-legged, I guess, possessions be comfortable, be well placed. Shanno astu dvipade, shan chatuspade. So there we get this, because of pad of pata, you're going to get the bahuri compound dvipad becomes dvipade, chaturthi ekavachanam, and chatushpade, chaturthi ekavachanam, pad of pata. So next time you hear that in the temple or wherever, it comes a lot of times in the Vedas, because you're basically praying for well-being of all your human companions and all your animal companions. So shannostu dvipade, shan chatushpade. So there, think of this sutram, sankhya supurvasya, samasanta, we can lopaha, and then padavpati. So, yes.
On the other hand, Tripadasya Amritam Divihi.
Say again, Tripadasya, you say?
Yeah, Tripadasya Amritam Divi. And that same, this one, why Tripad, there it is not.
Where are you quoting from? From the?
Purusha Sattam, right?
Oh, this one, Sahasrashirasha Purushaha Sahasravat Samumim Vishwato Vritvat Vishuddhashangam Purusha Evedam Sarvam Yadbhutan Yatsubhavyam Utamutattvasya Shanaha Idane Tiroti Tavanasya Mahima Tojaya Vishchapurushaha Pado Osya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Mritam Tripadasya. So this is not a Bahuri compound, Vasu, is it? We need a Bahuri compound, Vasu. So Padosya Vishwa Bhutani, right?
Yeah.
Tripadasya Mritam Divi. So I don't think it's a Bahuri compound. I think 1/4 of him is down here, and 3/4 is immortal. I think says that may not be a Bahuri. You have to check it out. Remember, we have to have a Bahuri compound. I don't think it's a Bahuri compound, is it? It's just saying that one part of him of that being is down here. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani. All this that you see over here is only 1/4 of him. Every 3/4 is still there. So that is not a Bahuri compound. I don't see a Bahuri compound, Vasu.
Okay.
It has to be Bahuri compound, yes. When the other time I was talking about, Shanno Sudipade Chatushpade, it's talking about Bahuri compounds. Human beings who have 2 legs and beasts who have 4 legs. So yeah, you have to make sure it's a Bahuri compound. Okay? Otherwise, no. So, okay, so you can always check all these rules. Always now you have learned the samasa, which is a vast topic. You can, and sometimes, of course, particularly in the Veda, sarve videha vikalpyante vede. All rules are broken with us. So we have, yes, sir. Yes, Ram, sir. Go ahead.
Satishji?
Yes,
so we have the Dvipada for humans and Chatushpada for animals.
Yes.
One that Sharapa has Ashtapada, right? So that has a Bahurvi, Ashtapada or something?
Yeah, so you're saying Ashtau, I guess Padaha, yes, saha. It should apply if it's a Bahuri compound for someone who has 8 legs, then it should become Ashtapadya. It should apply, yes. Definitely, yes,
Okay.
Ashtapad, so like Shatpadam, Shatpada is different. Pada it is there. Should be, but yeah, any number is there, it will apply. Yes. Ashtapad also should apply there. But you only check it's a Bahuri, that's all. So, good class participation. So I know you're awake. Good. So dvau padau yasya saha dvipad. So same thing happened here. So dvi au pad au anekamanya padarte saptam visheshana bahuvrihau. Except once you're sick of hearing the sutras from me, it's time to teach somebody else. When you get sick of hearing them, pass them along to somebody else. So then krutvita samasascha supo dhatu pradipitakayoho. And then we get sankhya supurvasya. We get the, we just talked about that. We go to alontyasya, because it's samasantah and become dvipad. And then the same thing, prathama ekvacham dvipad by vavasane. If in the bhasanya is there, like chaturthi become chatushpade, dvipade, like that. Similarly, tripad, chatushpad, etc. In chatushpad, of course, we get the chatur is there, we get the visargasya murdhanya shakara deshaha. It's only sandhikaryam. I think we did this a few times in the class. So by 548.341, it says that ikar idudupadasya cha pratyasya. If you have the ikara upadha, ukara upadha, and apratyajanya, which is the vikara, the visarga is not pratyajanya, it is not born from pratyaha, and is followed by a kar letter of the ka varga or pa varga, because remember the visarga only come by karavasana yor usajaniyaha. If there is no kar following, visarga will not be born in the first place. Visarga na jayeta. So even though it says kupvoho, it only means ka, ka, pa, pa. So there will be no visarga in the first place. So here we have the ukara is upadha, the penultimate is ukara, visarga was here, followed by the pakara, it becomes chatushpad. So that's what we have. Then because the sutram said here, sankhya su purvasya. So the next example here is su is shobhana upadav yasya saha. Someone who has lovely feet, could be feminine also, maybe so supad. So anyway, let's keep it masculine for time. We'll get to feminine when we come there. This is a dangerous topic, by the way. Let me warn you right now. If you have a body part at the end of the compound, of a bahuri compound, and you're making it feminine, you have to watch out. Because there are a number of rules in the Ashtadhyayi. Like Chandramukhi, Chandramukha, Chandramukhi, which one do you use? So like Shurpanakha, so there are a lot of these rules in the Ashtadhyayi, which we are going to come to. Only thing I'm giving a warning right now is that the moment you have a Bahuvri compound, which has a Angavayavaha as the Uttarapadam, and it's Striyam, you have to be very careful. Because there are these number of rules over here from 54 and 54, 55. So these are specially reserved for a Bahuvri compound in the feminine, which have a Swangat, which has Swangam as the Uttarapadam. Okay, let's just keep masculine for time being. We'll come to the feminine when we get there. So, this may not have any rule, but I'm just saying you have to be careful. So, Shobhana upadav yasya saha supat. Same thing here, because su is an avyam, avyadap supaha, pad plus au. Anekamanya padarthe, saptam visheshane bahuvri hau. Remaining steps are same as above, so become supat. Okay, now comes an important topic, kap pratyaha. Kap pratyaha. And that is in the book number 9, all bahuvri. This is exactly not correct. We have to just, we'll be qualifying this, by the way. This is not all bahuvrihis. We're going to qualify that. So just put like a note over here. It's not going to be all bahuvrihis, but most bahuvrihis. We'll see why not all. Bahuvrihis may take, because the vibhasha is there. We're going to come to that. The affix cup, especially affix is cup by Panini. Some take it necessarily. We're going to see there are 3 rules for that, and those ending, and some don't take it at all. One of them is this in the Iyasun Pratyaha. Okay, now I think we already touched on this section long time back in the beginning itself, because remember this when we talk about the Swadi Pratyaha, Swadeshvasara Namasthane, because that starts from 412, so just some out, etc. That last Swadi Pratyaha, Swadi is this cup, Charamaha Swadi Pratyaha. The very last Swadi Pratyaya, and there are hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them, because the entire Dita Adhikara is coming in them. I don't know, maybe hundreds, but there are a lot of them. There could be hundreds of them, and then they are all ending up in this Kap Pratyaya. That's the last one. There are many of these. The last one is Kap. I don't know about hundreds, but there are many of these, and here Uraf Prabhutibhya Kap. With the, again we are in the sense, we are Dhitadhikaraha, Samasantaha, and Bahuvrihau. That is still holding. And what is the sutra? This is the Sutra Dashakam. Sutra Dashakam, which is the set of 10 rules. Set of 10 rules. Sutra Dashakam, which talks about the Kap Pratyaya. What is this cup? Cup simply means anubandha lope al halantyam. Let me remind you that we cannot apply lashakvatadite because it is atadite. So lashakvatadite does not apply here. Anubandha lope ka avashishyate. This is not a akaraha. This is a ka pratyaha. Lashakvatadite says atadite. Atra kakarasya sanya nasti. So cup oni alontyasya. So these are, and this is the pivotal rule is 54154 Sheshad Vibhasha. In fact, we mentioned 2 classes back. This is one quick way of identifying a Bahuvrihi. This is if you get lucky and there's a Kap Pratyaya at the end. The Kap Pratyaya is only coming after Bahuvri compounds. Remember that. Because we are in the Bahuvri house section right now. So like in Gita example, idante na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kada Bhagavad Gita na tapaskaya. You see na atapaskaha avidyamanam tapaha yasya atapaskaha. So the kap pratyaya is very helpful. If it is there, you can identify Bahuvri compound. Remember, this is for compounds only for compound. There is a pratyaya ka, tadhita pratyaya like kan, etc., which is also common. And that is not a Bahuvri compound. Like a word like balakaha, that is not a Bahuvri compound. It's not a compound, period. It's not a compound. Be careful. So you want to identify the kap pratyaya, it has to be a compound. Then only it's samas anta pratyaya. The word like balakaha, the word like karakaha, dahakaha, that's also not a compound. That's the pratyaya aka. So nul truchau, this word null. So yeah, don't be over enthusiastic, but yes, if it is a compound and there is a samasanta pratyaya ka, then you think Bahuvri. Okay, so Sheshad Vibhasha is a pivotal rule. We're going to see it in a second. But prior to that, we have 3 rules. This is Nitya Vidhanam, which is Uraf Prabhutibhyah Kap. Uraf Prabhuti is a Gana. Uras etc. is a Gana in the Gana Patha. So if the Samasa ends in one of these words, then Nityam Kap. So Nitya Vidhanam. Kap has to be used. Then Inastriyam Nadyarita. This is also important sutram. Nadyaritascha. This is important sutram which is not in the book, which I like to draw attention to, which is, if let's look at this a second, this is not in the book, but you should keep this in mind, because any Bahuvri compound ending in the Nadi Sanya, you don't use Triyakyo Nadi, which of course there will be many of them, or in the Rasarikaraha, Nadyaritascha. They're also like Matkatrikam Karma. Matkatrikam Karma. These Bahuvri compounds are very powerful to express ideas. Like they say in Sanskritam, you cannot express the idea, but if you are a master of compounds, you can express many things in compact form. Like you say, something which is done by me. This thing has not been done by me, if you want to say that. Idam na mat kritrakam. So this is something of which I am not the doer. So aham karta yasya tat karma. So this is a karma of which I am the doer. So become mat kartru. But then, because ending in the rukaraha, nadyaritascha. Nadyaritascha takes kap. So this is not in the book. In the book we have this one. We're going to reference this today, but make a note of this is the second important sutram for the Nitya Vidhanam. Okay, so we have to let's look at the Vritti of this one quickly. I don't want to skip this because this is an important sutram. So 54140. There are only 3 of these rules which talk about Nityam Kap. And this is the last one of those. Says that Nadyantat Bahuvrihehe. It was because Nadi Shabd, Nadi, lot of feminine words of Nadi Sanya ending in long E or U. Rukaranta Cha Kapratyabhavati. So so it says Bhukartrikaha. Bhukartrikaha. So this is something which had many doers. So Bhukartrikaha Utsavaha. So this is a festival. There were many doers involved in this, yes.
Yeah. Matka Pitrikaha, Patka Pitrikaha, that is Bahuvri or not?
Say it again, what's the compound?
Matka Pitrikaha, Patka Pitrikaha.
Matto or mat you're talking about?
Matka.
Yeah. That should be, it looks like it, because otherwise, one more thing is a good point is that if it is a compound, there's really no other ka as a samasanta pratyaya that I can think of. In fact, that if there is a samasanta ka pratyaya, it almost fixes the issue. It really has to be bahuvrihi. There is no other ka pratyaya in this samasanta prakaran that I can think of that is there. So if pitra is the pratipadikam, become pitraka at the end of a compound, that really has to be bahuvrihi. Really has, unless there is a pratipadikam pitraka. But if pitra is pratipadikam, then it should be a bahuvrihi compound. Yes, it should be. Okay, so now in fact these are often used to stamp the bahuvrihi compound, just to make sure it's a bahuvrihi compound. That's also the technique that you can use. Using a cup at the end, you're making sure that you understand it's a bahuvrihi compound. So you can look in the reverse also. Okay, so ura prabriti, if there is a uras, one of these words in this gana at the end of the compound, then it has to take cup for bahuvrihi. If there is a nadi sanya at the end, any padam, uttara padam with nadi sanya or rikarant also should take cup. So let's look at these. Let's look at an example here. So ura prabhutibhyah cup, ura prabhutyantat bahuvrihe. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Kap pratyasa samasantaha. This is, I think, Vyodharaska. I think this is probably in the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram, maybe in the, I think in the Vishnu Ashtotra Stotram, it will be one of these, it is there. So Vyodham, Vishalam, Uraha, Vaksho Yasyasa, broad-chested. Vishnu is broad-chested. So it says, so Vyodham. Now, let me remind, this is V plus Udham. The Udha we had derived in detail. That is not today's topic, but from Dhatu Vah. Dhatu Vah. When you had this, when we add this pratyaya, nishtha pratyaya. So udha, let's see, so udha we derived in the prior class. So vah plus pratyakta, anubandha lope. Then because it's a ekach bhushanudattat, there's no idagamaha. Sampasaranam becomes plus ta. Then sampasaranachya, plus ta. Then we get hodha, urdha. Then jashastathor dhodha ud dha, then shunashtuhu ud dha, then dhodhe lopahaudha, then dha lope purush dirghonaha udha. Again, it's not today's topic, but if you want to revise back this whole string of operations we saw. Now, okay, so that's what istam dhatu vah. So vah, so udha means carried. In this case, it means actually well-arrayed chest. Well-arrayed chest is probably would be, or basically means broad chest. Broad chest. So vyudham uraha vakshaha yasya saha. So vyudham. Okay. Now, otherwise the compound itself is nothing really special. Usual rules. Anekamanya padarthe. Saptami visheshane bahuvri. How this is visheshanam. Vyudha, raska, and then supluk, ad gunaha, vyudha, ras. So these steps are all samanyam karyam. And now comes pratyaya kab, because you do have the word uras at the end of a bahuvri compound. It's the first member of this ganaha. So become so nityam kap and halantyam we cannot apply. Lashak utadite, it says atadite, so anubandha lope ka. And now as I always said, use all these tadita pratyaya which include samasantaha. Then the swadi, they consider swadi pratyaya. So the angam gets either the padasanya or the vasanya. Padasanya by swadishva saranamastani or rechibham. In this case, this is not yakaradi or rajadi. Angam gets padasanya. Here also we can say pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam suptinganta padam is there. Then again padasanya by swadishva saranamastane. So 1417 really we want to confirm the padasanya by swadishva saranamastane sasajusho ruho anubandha lopaha, and then upadesha jananasika it karavasanu visajaniyaha visajaniyasya saha. No, before visajaniyasya saha come, then you will have had the kuppoha kafpocha. Instead comes so padadau. Important sutram. So this does not become yudo rahkaha. It becomes yudo raskaha. So padadau. That's what is sopadadau. It says that if you have a apadadi sakaraha. Okay, now this word, this is not a padam, it's a pratyaha. Because the pratyaya is not a padam. And so if it is followed by the visarga is followed by the kavarga or pavargaha, which is not a padadi, in that case it takes a sakara adesha, so padadau. And in this language there are these 1, 2, 3, 4 terms only which can generate this situation where you have visargaha followed by apadadi pavarga atva pavargavarnaha atva kavargavarnaha. Pasha kalpa ka kamyeshu. And this ka is this pratyaya that we see in this cup, which gives a anubandha lope ka. Visargasya saha. So simply speaking, if you have visargaha followed by one of these 4, the pasha, kalpa, ka and kamya. So these 4, the visarga becomes sa, not the jivva muli or the padmani or anything like that. It's vyudhoraskaha. So sopadadau says, if you have visargaha followed by the apadadi, basically ka, kha, pa, pa, visarga only came because of karavasana visarjaniyaha, then rather than getting the kuppuha kafpaucha, we get the sakara deshaha because it says pasha kalpa ka kamyeshu visargasya saha, become yudhoraska. So one more time, when you have uras or any term from the ura adi ganaha, ura prabhuti ganaha, in that case this cup is nityam, bahuri compound, become yudhoraskaha because of sopadadau. Similarly, we have triyam madhu yasya saha. So if madhu is in the same gana, then priya madhukaha. So if you look at this gana, like any other gana, this probably can be expanded, but this probably madhu is in this gana, then I think upanad is in this gana. So let me see, there might be some typos here. Let me just double check. Yeah, this online Ashtadhyaya is good, but it has some typos. Let me just make sure. I don't have to make a correction again next time. So upanah. This is the type, should be upanah. Upanah is in this gana, madhu is in this gana. So when we say a compound like priyam madhu yasya saha, one who likes honey, priya madhukaha. Yeah, madhukaha become straightforward compound. It's interesting one. Avamuktau upanahau yena saha. One who has taken off his shoes. They said these bahuri compounds are very powerful. You can express all these meanings very nicely in a compound. So mukta padatranaha. Mukta padatranaha. Avamuktau upanahau yena saha. One who has taken off his shoes. Avamukta. Avamuktopanatkaha. Avamuktopanatkaha. Only thing here is that we have avamukta and of course ad gunaha between the avamukta and upanah. Upanah is the pradipadikam that's in the uraf prabhuti ganaha. So we get the cup nityam, and because of normally we would have had the hodhaha jali padante hakarasya dhakarasya bhavati, but then nahodhaha. Sutram we have seen the daily examples. Again, I hope you're all looking at the daily examples like these every day coming to you. So in that we already seen the sutram nahodhaha. Nahodha, apavada for hodhaha is nahodha. If you have the dhatu nah at the end, then you should have taken the dhaka, so jalipadante, you should have taken the dhakara deshaha, it gets the dhakara deshaha. So becomes upanat. So same thing, become upa. Okay, so what we're talking about is the nahodha. We get the dhakara deshaha, and then of course karicha. Avamuktopanatkaha. So anyway, that's the sandhikaram is not today's topic, but basically upan at the end of bahuri compound we get the kap pratyanityam. So by 8234 nahodhaha kharicha. Now, so that's a nitya vidhanam. Now important sutram, and this is a very important sutram, is the sheshad vibhasha. Now what is sheshad? Normally it says anuktaha sheshaha. That which has not been said, which remains. which has not been specified, is Sheshaha. The what has not been specified. This is a very important vritti here by Bhattoji. Says that Anukta Samasantat. So Anyad Samasant Vidhanam Navartate. When there is no other Samasant, no other Samasanta Pratyaya has been put. Then, and also Sheshadhikarasthad Bahuvrihehe. The Shesha has taken two meanings here. So Anukta Samasantat. So no other, so this cup will not come on top of any other Samasanta Pratyaya. So there should be no Samasanta Pratyaya already in place. So we can say, like for example, you see this word Sugandhi. That's the word Sugandhi which you already did the Samasanta Pratyaya Ikaraha. It should not become Sugandhikaha. It will not happen. Udgandhikaha iti na bhavish iti na bhavati. Sheshad iti vachanat. Because Panya says Sheshad. This Udgandhi already we have made the Ikara as the Adesha. It's Adesha, but still Samasanta. It is a Samasanta. So we cannot put cup on top of that. Same thing when you make like Vyagrapat. Will not be Vyagrapat kaha. It will not happen. That's one meaning of Shesha. The second meaning of Shesha is that what Bhattoji says is that, look at it here, is Sheshadhikarasthat. Now, what is that now? That is, remember in the very beginning of this Bahuvri Prakaranam, I think 2-3 classes back, when we started this Prakaranam, we talked about Shesho Bahuvrihi. We talked about Shesha. What was the Shesha we talked about over there? It's basically Prathamantam. Because let's go back to that last couple of classes. Shesha Bahuvri. Again, we're going very slow because this is an important Prakaranam. I don't want to rush through this because these are important considerations we have to keep in mind. Okay, Shesho Bahuvrihi. When we talked about that, Adhikaroyam Dvitiya Ityadina Yasya Trikasya, basically Subvibhaktehe, Vishishya Samasa na Uktaha, no, Sasheshaha, Prathamantam Ityartaha. So now, this in fact is Shesho Bahuvrihi. That Pani sometimes we will say, why do you need this Adhikara of Shesho Bahuvrihi? One of the prayojanam for Panini is this sutram Sheshad Vibhasha. The Shesha Vibhasha only applies for this Bahuvri compound, which is basically Prathamantam. So only in a Bahuvri compound when each Padam is Prathamantam, only such a compound will take any such compound, Bahuvri compound, which is a Prathamantam Padam. So every Padam is Prathamantam. Will take Kap Pratyaya optionally. So going back to this one, so there are two considerations. Yes, the Sheshad has been interpreted in two ways. One is the Sheshad Vibhasha. Okay, so let's come back to this. Anukta Samasanta, we talked about that. There should be no other Samasanta Pratyaya already done there. Then only this applies. And then, see, that is why in the book, in the book I told you to put a note over here, all Bahuvrihis. So, we need to qualify that. It's not all Bahuvrihis. It's those Bahuvrihis which have not taken a Samasanta Pratyaya already. And only those Bahuvrihis in which it is Prathamantam, which is that each Padam is Prathamantam. Then, yes, then those will take the cup optionally. So Anukta Samasanta Sheshadhikarasthad Bahuvrihe Kvapvasyat. That is Sheshad. One last time, there should be no other Samasanta being done. It's also be the Shesho Bahuvri. Shesho Bahuvrihi Adhikara means that basically should be Prathamantam should be. Okay. Example is Mahadyasho Yasa Mahayashaskaha Atra Mahayashaha. Because this is Vibhasha. So the compounding is nothing really too special. Mahat Su Yashas plus Su Anekamanya Padarte Shaptami Visheshani Bahuvrihav. Then Prajapatika Sanya Krita is the Samasascha Supluk Supodhatu Prajapatikayoho. Then we saw this Sutram An Mahataha. samadhikarana jatiyayoho, which is the 6.3, I think 46 was it? Yeah. So which is anmahataha samadhikarana jatiyayoho. If you samadhikarana samasaha, which is mahatya samadhikaranam, you can say mahatya samanadhikaranam, samanadhikaranyam. It is referred to the same item as the Uttarapadam. Then this mahat takes the antadesha, which is akara alontyasya, then akasame dirgha. So it gives us maha ayashas, we have mahayashas. So that is one case when we don't do the kap pratyaha. But kap pratyaya nothing to do. This is from a different adhikara. This is from 6.3. This is nothing to do with the kap pratyaha. So this will happen regardless, as long as mahat has samadhikaranam with yashas. There is a karmadharya compound, bhuvri compound, doesn't matter. It will still, that mahat is going to become maha by the akara desha and then akasame dirgha. Now what we can do, so maha yashas we have, this is one case. This is, kap pratyaya bhava pakshe. Kap pratyaya bhava pakshe. Optionally, kap pakshe, maha yashas plus kap, because of, this is wrong number, I'm sorry, it's the wrong number. Sheshad vibhasha, we will get maha yashas ka. The same steps again. Halantyam, we don't apply lashik pratadite because tadita pratyaha. And then swadish vasaramasthane, sasajusho ruho, anubandha lopaha, karavasanu visajaniyaha, then sopadado, mahayashaskaha. It's a very useful pratyaya because he'll convert, it become like Ramavat Shabdaha. So if you want to make life easy for you, I would recommend using kap all the time. As long as you're sure that no other pratyayas come, and this is not in any one of those, ganas which are talking about nityam kap, then also you're safe. But what is happening is that after Sheshad Vibhasha, there are these set of rules which prohibit kap. And that is, you have to keep in mind some of those. Otherwise, kap makes it easy because it makes it like a Ramavat Shabdaha, Mahayashas ka. If we decline these, then if we decline Mahayashas on its own, so kap abhave, then it will become Mahayashas. This is Anuji's favorite sutram. Atvasantasya chadhatoho. This is the Subant Prakaranam, which has been seen in daily examples repeatedly. Atvasantasya chadhatoho. Pratya, which is su, asambuddha, sau parataha. So we get, this is in the upada dirgha, upadayaha dirgha. So, asambuddha, sau. So we get 6.4. I think we just had in one of our daily examples. I think yesterday we have it. Yesterday before we have this 6.4.14. Atvasantasya atvantasya upadhayaha dirgho dhatu bhinna santasya cha sambuddhau saupare. It becomes, basically becomes mahayashas plus su anubandha lopaha hanyabhyo dirgha sutisya praptam hal. Then sasajushoruhu karavasana visajaniyaha mahayashaha. This is kap bhava pakshe, no kap. When kap pratyaya is there, become Ramavat, becomes mahayashaskaha. Okay, so one more time, this sutram is saying that Sheshad Vibhasha, very, very important sutram, very, very important sutram. One of the most important rules in this Samasanta Prakaranam, Sheshad Vibhasha, because any Bahuri compound which has not, to which another Samasanta Pratyaya has not been prescribed, and which is Shesha in the Shesho Bahuvrihi Adhikaraha, which means Prathamantam, then you'll take kap optionally. So you get these two forms, Mahayashaskaha or Mahayashaha. Now, similarly, Alpam Vayaha Yasyas, Alpam Vayo Yasyasaha, young aged, somebody who's young. Alpa Vayaha, Alpa Vayaskaha. So see how powerful it is. Bahuvaris are very, very powerful compound. You can express many, many, many meanings to Bahuvri compounds. You can practice these. Alpa Vayaskaha. So one who's like you say, somebody who's evil-minded, dushta manaskaha. You can make a lot of these compounds on the fly. So you can say, somebody whose mind is very confused. So bhranta manaskaha. You can have a lot of fun with these. So alpavayaha, alpavayaskaha. As long as Vayas is not in that Urapraviti Gana or something like that, then we can form these compounds. This is same steps as before. Alpa Vayas Prajapadikam become Alpa Vayaha by Atvasantasya Chadhatoho, Alpa Vayaskaha Ramavat. And I said Gita example, Idante na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana. Avidya, so Gita should not be given to somebody who's devoid of tapas. Idante na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana. Avidyamanaha Tapo, yes. No. This is an error. I'm sorry. This is an error because tapas is napusakaniya project. So, if there's any error on the board, please stop me because I want to, as far as possible, keep that. So, nirdosham syadidam ayam prayasa nirdosha syat. So, nirgataha doshaha yasya saha prayasaha. Our effort should be as far as possible. Yavat shakyam nirdosha should be faultless. So avidyamanam tapo, because tapas is napusina pradividikam. Avidyamanam tapo yasya saha. Vartikam, nayaste arthanam. So we have seen the vartikam. I think we saw that a few times in the previous class. So we saw by 2:24 vartikam, which is down here. Nayaste arthanam bahuvriher. Okay, now comes this, let's look at this one. This is not in the book. Just want to give an interesting point. This is not in the book, but this is an interesting point I thought, so we'll cover that. So, Bhavi Vidya Yasya Saha. So, one who has vast knowledge. Bhavi Vidya Yasya Saha. So, he gets three forms. So, three Rupani Sambhavanti. One is Kab Abhava Pakshe, Spashtam Bahuvidya. Okay? Now Kab Pakshe api Vikalpaha Syat. In Kab Pakshe, we get Bahuvidyakaha, Bahuvidyakaha. Vidyakaha. So, let's look at these two forms. In all of these forms, Bhavi has become Bahu by this Pumvad Bhava, which is Vasu's favorite topic. It's coming in the next one. We'll look at Pumvad Bhava very shortly. It's going to come. So, very simply speaking, in a Bahuvri compound, if you have a feminine noun as Uttarapadam and you have an adjective as the Purapadam, that adjective becomes masculine like. Gita, example which I give all the time, Sita Pradnyasya ka bhasha. So, Sita Pradnyasya saha. So, Bhavi becomes Bahu, so Bahuvidyakaha. So, that occurs in all of these three. I mean that Pumvad Bhava will happen regardless of cup or no cup. That is not dependent on the Samasandha Pratyaya. So, this you're going to see in detail the remainder of today. So, that is the Pumvad Bhava. So, but simply speaking, this adjective to the feminine, the Bahuvri compound becomes masculine like. Now, how do we get this? This one, well, let's finish this one first. Bahuvidya, because this is Sheshad Vibhasha, optionally cup. When there's no cup, what happens is that you get the Gostriyo Rupasajanasya. I think we saw in the last class, Gostriyo Rupasajanasya. Let's go back. So, when we have a Pratipadikam, ending is Sri Pratyaya, in this case Vidya, and that Uttarapadam has the Upasarjana Sanya. In the Bahuvri compound, Sarvopasarjanaha Bahuvrihi. General rule, every term has a Upasarjana Sanya. So then it takes the Rasva Desha. We did in the last class, goes through Upasarjanasya. Goes through. So if you have either, we saw the example Chitragu in the last class we saw Chitragu. So that time we looked at the Sutram. If you have either the Go Shabdaha or Stripatayant Shabda as the at the end of a Pratipadikam, and that ending member has the Upasarjana Sanya, then it takes the Rasvadesha. So becomes Bahuvidya. Again, this is not in the book. I'm just giving you a nice interesting example here. Now, how about this is straightforward, Bahuvidyakaha. Here with the Kap Pratyas at the end, we have Vidya, but that is not at the end of the Pratipadikam. Because remember, when you have to Rasvadesha, Napusake Pratipadikasya. So that Upasarjanam or the Sri Pratyantam should be at the end of the Pratipadikam. when we add the kap pratyaya, we should, it's not at the end of the pratipadikam, because si pratyaya is over here. That is the top, not this one. So this one is fine, kap pakshe, because sheshad vibhasha. How about this fellow now? Bhuvidyakaha. How to take the rasvadesha when this one, that's why I'm giving this example to you. It's because this sutram is 7.4.15. Aponyatarasyam is kapyavantasya rasva vasyat. If you have a kap pratyaya, kap means it has to be bahuvri compound, as I told you many times today. So if a kap pratyaya is at the end, and there is a ab, stri pratyaya prior to it, then it takes the rasvadesha vikalpena. So it takes optionally. So we get a third form, bahuvidyakaha. Okay, so one more time. These two are straightforward, because in all three forms we have to use this, striyaha bhashita pumskar, we have to use that one. That we're going to see in the class after some time today. So this basically becomes masculine. That is all three places. That is not dependent on any samasa on the pratyaya, anything like that. Then kap abhava pakshe is simply apply go styor upasajanasya bahuvidya sthita prajnah bahuvidya. The kap pakshe, this is also straightforward, bahuvidyakaha, because this stri pratyaya is not at the end of the pratipadikam. But we have 7.4.15 which comes and says that aponyatarasyam kapyavantasya rasvovasya. So kapi avantasya rasvovasya, we get a third form. So even though kap is at the end, which is a ap pratyaya prior to it, si pratyaya, feminine affix ap, that takes the rasvadesha vikalpena. So we get a third form, bahuvidyakaha. Anyway, so this stops of this section 7.4.15 is only if you have a kap pratyaya at the end and there's a ap pratyaya part, then we get rasvadesha optionally. Now the point in the book is says anukta ityadi kim. So why did Bhattoji say? Why did he say that it should be anukta samasantat? Consider, I think I already told you that, is that you consider this form which is vyagrapat. It always has taken, the lopa has already been done. Lopa already has been done. We just saw that over here in detail because we had that sutram. Padasya lopastyadibhyaha. So by 5.4.138, that lopa is also a samasantaha. Once that is done, we cannot put kap on top of that. So anuktaditikim. So there's no vyagrapat, sugandhi also we saw the ikara deshaha. So there's no kap pratyaya. Then shesha adhikara sthaditikim. It has to be in a bahuvrihi which has the prathamantam should be there. Saputraha. We're going to see this in the book. So we're going to see this in the book in a later section. I think it's coming. I think it's on page 11. It's on the top of page 140. We're going to look at this in detail. How this with this word saha. So which is tena sahiti. This is number tulya yoge 2228. I think, yeah. Tena sahiti tulya yoge. Basically, when something participates with something else in an action, in form bahuvri compound. Like so you can say putrena saha pita agataha. So the father came with his son. Now the father is the main item there, the son is secondary. You can say saputraha pita agataha. But look at the vigraha vakyam, putrena. It is not prathamantam. Not prathamantam. We will look at this in detail not in this class, we don't have time, but next class is this tena sahiti tulya yoge. So here, the tena, this is not prathamantam over here. Remember the shesha, we talked about sheshaha, it talks about prathamantam because this is not prathamantam, this is tena. So when you form that's why in the book I said, this is not all bahuvris don't take up. It has to be, sheshad only. So that is make a big note over here. So sheshadhikarastaditikim. saputra, because putrena sa, because when you do the vigraha vakyam for this, you see it's putra plus ta, not the su. So this will not become saputrakaha. So don't just say all Bahuvri compounds. It has to be basically a Bahuvri compound which is formed by this sutram, which is Anekamanya Padarthe for the most part. This is because, this is the main one here which gives you that one. So this one will not do it. You have to check these others, but this one will not do it. But this is not Prathamantam. So Saputraha will not become Saputrakaha, will not happen, Saputraha only. And these two, because already a Samasanta has been done, will also not take up. Okay, now there are these, okay, but on the Sastrikaha, now look at this one now. Look at this one, be careful now. Here also we have the same sutram, Tena Sahiti Tulya Yoge, Tena Sahiti Tulya Yoge. Now this is not Sheshad Vibhasha, but this is by the rule which I already told you about. If you have a Uttara Padam, which is Nadi Sanya, then you don't need Sheshad Vibhasha. Nadirtascha is Nityam Kappa, Sastrikaha, Devaha, Ajagmuho, Rasalila, Darshanartham Ajagmuho. So all the gods came with their consorts to watch the Rasalila. So Sastrikaha, Devaha, Strika. So here, even though Saputraha will not take the Pratyaya, but that depends on Sheshad Vibhasha, the Sheshad is not satisfied there. But Sastrikaha now, this is not dependent on Sheshad Vibhasha. This has a Nadi at the end. So there is no question of Sheshad Vibhasha, only next sutram. So if you're Nadyantam, then Kap is Nityam. We'll have only one form. Sastrikaha. So you'll be careful. The Sheshad is only for that sutram Sheshad Vibhasha. But if you have one of these three earlier ones, then it doesn't matter. Then any Bahuvri which has this Ura Prabhuti at the end, Uras etc., or has Nadi, or has the Rukarantam, then Kap is going to come. It's a good example. Remember, Saputraha will not take Kap, and Sastrikaha will, Nityam will take Kap necessarily. Because special rule 54153. Okay. Now, so that gives the importance of Sheshad. Okay. Now comes the last one in the book, which talks about which do not take the Kapratyaya. And Anuvritti of Na goes down from here up to these last 6 rules of chapter 5. And one of them is that Iyasascha. Iyasantottarapada na kappa. Uttarapadam ends in the Iyasun Pratyaya. Iyasun Pratyaya. Then there is no Kap whatsoever. Nityo Vaikalpikascha Kap Sarvopi Nishidhyate. There will be no Vikalpaha, there will be no Nityam Kalp, there will be no Kap at all. No matter what it might be. Because as long as Yasun Pratyaya is at the end, then it doesn't matter. There will be no Vikalpaha, there will be no Kap whatsoever. Nityo Vaikalpikascha Kap Sarvopi Nishidhyate. Just look at an example here. Bahavaha Shreyanso Yasya Bahushreyan. One who has many praiseworthy things. Very praiseworthy things. Because Prashasya, this word Shreyan, basically Prashasya Taraha. Shreyan. Prashasya Taraha. Prashasya is praiseworthy. Prashasya Taraha is very praiseworthy. So Bahavaha Sheyam So Yasya Sa. You can say Sheyam So Gunaha Yasya Saha. So one who has many praiseworthy virtues, something which is very praiseworthy. He has many of those. So Bahushreyan. It will not become Bahushreyaskaha. Okay, let's look at the details here. So here I'm putting the brackets here, how this word, okay, let's look at this. Atishayena Prashasyaha Shreyan. Prashasyaha is praiseworthy, fit to be praised. Atishayena, very praiseworthy, Shreyan. This is not today's topic. I'm trying to tell you how this word Shreyan comes into being. This is said with Taditanda Pratyaya. Okay, this is Tadita Pratyaya, I should say. This word Pratyaya. Yasun says, this sutram is here. If you want, you can look at for homework. Is this, I don't want to go into too much detail. This is not today's topic. is dvivachana vibhajyopapade tarabiyasuno iti iyasunno. Okay, so this is also looking in the taditaha adhikaraha. If you this pratyas tarap and iyasun is being prescribed, in what meaning? Dvivachana vibhajyopapade. When you want to distinguish between two items, or between one group, another group. Let's look at quickly at the at Kashika. It says that let's look at 5.3.57. In English, comparative degree. Simply speaking, in English, when you have comparative degree, that is this pratyaya iyasun. So it says that ayam anayoho atishayena. So dvav imau adhyau. These two men are well endowed. They are rich, basically, well endowed. Dvav imau adhyau. Ayam anayoho atishayena adhyaha. But among those two, someone is richer, better endowed than the other guy. So dvav imau adhyau. Parantu ayam anayoho atishayena adhyataraha. It comes. It says dvav imau patu. So these two are skilled. Ayam anayoho atishayena patu patiyan. So he is more skilled than the other. Now you can also have two groups of items. You say because vibhajyopapade, there is to be split these two groups into which so mathuraha pataliputra adhyataraha. So the people of Mathura are richer as a group than the people of Pataliputra. Darshaniya taraha. So Patiyamsaha, Laghiyamsaha. So the people of Mathura are more skilled as a group than the people of Pataliputra, etc. So basically, simply in English, just to keep it simple time being, when you have the comparative degree. Now, but how do we get the word Shreyan itself? This Prashya Sutram, it says that Prashasyasya Shraha. This Prashasya takes the Shra Adeshaha. That is by 5.3.60. 5.3. I'm doing this in kind of brief right now because that is not important to us for present discussion. So Prashasyasya Shabdasya Shra. So Asya Shra Adeshasyad Ajado Parataha. So when you have Ajadi means the Ishtan and Iyasun. Now this is following. Prashasya takes the Shra Adeshaha. So Prashasya Shraha. Then we get the Shra plus Iyasun becomes Shreyas. And then Shesha Vibhashiti Kap Praptaha. Now Kap is, now I have not done this in great detail. If you want to look at the sutras in detail, 5.3.57, there is, you might find some more complication there, just but roughly speaking, I've given you, briefly speaking, how the word Shreyas is formed. And now by Shesha Vibhasha, so Kap Vikalpina Praptaha, you should have had Kap optionally. Okay, but that Kap is now stopped because of the fact that this Iyasashcha Sutram clearly says Iyasantotra Pada na Kap. You don't get, so you get only the form Bahushreyan. You don't get the Bahushreyaskaha. Shreyan. Of course, in Bahushreyan, when decline Bahushreyan because the Iyasun, so because the Buddhacham Sarvanamasthane Yathato Hajit Num Agramaha, then Santamhatas Sanyogasya. So the Num Agramaha comes by 7. We are not doing that. How did Bahushreya become Bahushreyan? That's the Subanta Prakranam, which is the first you get because Iyasun is an Ugit. So you get Num Agamaha, Bahushayans. So you get Num Agamaha and Santamhatas Sanyogasya. That is, you get the Udadirka, Bahushayans. And then the remaining work, do the Sakar Lopaha, then the Sayugantasya Lopaha. So that's Bahushreyan. Bahushreyan is Prathama Ekvachanam Pullinge, and Bahushreyas Pratipadikam does not take a Pratyaya. Optionally, it doesn't take a Pratyaya at all because it's Nisheda Sutram Iyasashcha. Now, if you take the feminine form, make it more interesting. Is that if you make it so, you can say, so if it's a feminine which has all these many very praiseworthy things, then becomes Bahu Shreyasi. Bahu Shreyasi. Actually, we can, okay, let's look at this one. Gosti Upasajanasi Yaso Bahuvriher Na Iti Vachyam. Let's look at this one. In fact, let's not make the whole thing feminine. Let's make Shreyasi as feminine. So Shreyas, if you want to make it the feminine, becomes Shreyasi, because the Sutram Ugitascha. I told you many times, if you want to use anything in the feminine, it has to be inspected by the Adhikara of Striyam. Sutram is Ugitascha. If you have an Ugit at the end, it takes a Pratyay Neep in the feminine. Become Shreyasi. So Shreyasi Nari. Very praiseworthy woman, Shreyasi. Now, if you look at Bhavyaha Shreyasya Asya, somebody who has many praiseworthy women. Bhavya Shreyasya Asya. So one who has many praiseworthy women. He is a Bahu Shreyasi. Now, there are some complications here, which is that first thing we talked about is Gostriyor Upasajanasya. Gostriyor Upasajanasya. In the Bahuvari compound, every term has the Upasajasanya, and we have this Tripatya Neep at the end. Then why don't we apply Gostriyor Upasajanasya? Gostriyor Upasajanasya. Because all conditions satisfied. Tripatyantam, Pratipadikam we have the Upasajasanya for Shreyasi, then should become Bahu Shreyasi. Rasvadesha Kasmanda Bhavati. Because of the Vartikam. Vartikam says Iyaso Bahuvri Herna Iti Vachyam. So if you have a Bahuvri ending in Iyasun, then we do not apply Gostiyor Upasajanasya. Gostiyor Upasajanasya. So Bahu Shreyasi stays as Bahu Shreyasi. Of course, don't forget that is Bahu has taken Pungvad Bhavaha by 6334. We'll see later on in the class today, the last few minutes. So, but this Ikara stays as the Dirgha Ikara, even though the Sripatya is at the end, even though is at the end of the Pratipadikam, even though Shreyasi has the Upasajasanya as a Bahuri compound, still we do not wear Rasvadesha because it's Vartikam. Yaso Bahuvri Herna Iti Vachyam. Now, can we add cup on top of this now? Because we have Iyasun, but we also have the Sripatya at the end, Neep. Now, I just told you this sutra which is not in the book, but this Nadiratascha, iti nityam praptaha kap. Remember when we looked at this vritti, says that nityo vaikalpikascha kap sarvopi nishidyate. So any cup which is either vibhasha or which is either nityam, all of that is stopped when you have Iyasun at the end. We saw the example of Bahu Shreyan. In this case, Kap Vikalpina Praptaha. But Shesha Vibhasha, we would have had Kalp optionally, Kap optionally. And that was stopped. We saw that. Now, when we make Shreyasi feminine, by Sutram Nadiratascha, it is Sutrena, Nityam Kap Praptaha. Nityam Praptaha. So now it is coming necessarily. That will also get stopped now. So cup, but now only complication is that we don't really have Iyasun at the end. We have at the end this Tripatya Neep. So can we still use that Nishedha of Iyasascha? We need a paribhasha for that. Linga Vishishta Paribhashaya Iyasaschiti Pratishidyate. What does that say? This is a very important paribhasha, by the way. Linga Vishishta Paribhashaya. This is nothing to do with Bahuvari compounds. It is used in a lot of places. So please highlight this paribhasha. It is used in a number of places. Linga Vishishta Paribhasha. Okay. And what does that say? It simply says Pratipadika Grahane Linga Vishishta Syapi Grahanam. Anytime Panini prescribes an operation based on a particular Pratipadikam, he also means a Pratipadikam which is in a different gender. This has all the same properties, but only the gender is different. That is also included. Linga Vishishta Paribhasha. So even though we says Iyasascha, Pani says it has to be the Iyasun Antam. Pratipadikam, but it includes those which are in different gender also. So this Bahushreyasi, there had a Stri Pratyaya at the end, but by this Paribhasha, Linga Vishishta Paribhasha, which is a very important Paribhasha, not just for today's lesson, but it is applied in many places. So Pratipadika Grahane Linga Vishishtasyapi Grahanam. So in this case, Kap Nityam Praptaha Kap Sopanishadyate. That also is stopped. So we saw these two examples, Bahushreyan, Bahushreyas, when we had Shreyas at the end, then there's no Sipatyaha, then it would have taken Kap optionally by Sheshad Vibhasha. It does not take Kap because of Iyasascha. Then we saw the example of Bahushreyasi. First of all, in that the Rasvadesha was stopped in spite of Gostri or Pasajanasya because of the Vartikam. Iyaso Bahuvrihe Naiti Vacham. And then this would have taken Nityam Kap Panadhyadatascha. That is also stopped because even though Iyasun is not exactly at the end, but Linga Vishishta Paribhashaya. So this is, I hope you have now a flavor with Samasanta Prakranam, that ends Samasanta Prakranam for Bahuvrihis. So this is the entire section from 54113. We have not seen all of them, given you a good idea of some of them, and this is a very large section of 48 rules. So please keep in mind a simple thing, that in a Bahuvri compound there are many situations where in the Samasanta something, there will be some vidhanam, some operation to be done, and importantly the last 10 rules, the Kap Pratyaha, the pivotal rule is Sheshad Vibhasha. So any Bahuvri compound which only Sheshad, for which there has not already been a Pratyanta, and which has Prathamantam, that will take Vibhasha. Then these three will take necessarily Prabhriti Ganaha, if that is one of those at the end, or if you have the Nadiritascha, if you have Nadiva Sanya at the end, Shabda Nadi Sanya at the end, or Rasva Rikaraha, will take necessarily, and then these will not take. And one of them we saw, which is the Iyasascha. Okay, so that ends the Samasanta Prakranam, but since there's 48 rules, it's an important Prakranam for Bahuvrihis. Now comes a favorite topic, which is the Pumvad Bhavaha. Pumvad Bhava. Also important topic. Now this is not the first time we are seeing this. We've already seen this Pumvad Bhavaha, but we saw a simpler version of this one. This is a bit of a nasty version of the same thing. This one we saw Pumvad Karmadharya Jatiya Deshiyeshu. We had the Karmadharya compounds. We had the, we say Mahati Bhranti, great delusion. We make a Maha Bhranti. So anyway, that Mahat has become Maha there also. But in a Karmadharya compound, basically, adjective noun compound, we get Pumvad Bhava for the Pura Padam. We are jumping to a new section now. We're going to 6.3. The moment you hear 6.3, always think of Adhikaraha, which is Uttarapade. We are talking of some operation for the Pura Padam of a compound. Okay, so this is now a different area from the Samasantaha. So Pumvat Karma, but that time we are talking about Karmadharya compounds. Now we are talking about Bahuvri compounds. So now we look at this interesting, nice sutram. Striya Pumvad Bhashita Pumskadanung Samanadhikarane Striyama Purani Priyadishu. This is a bit of a nasty sutram, because we have this strange compound here, Bhashita Pumskad. And then we have these number of exclusions. One is Anung. Then we have Apurani Priyadishu. Okay. If we strip those out for a time being, let's strip out these Apurani Priyadishu. Basically this Pumvad Bhava will not happen. Will not happen. If this one of these is the Uttaparam, So Purani Pratyaya is there at the end, or this Priyadi Ganaha word is there. So let's leave this for time being. We're going to see it later on. And this Anung, let's leave the Ung out for time being. So basically it simply says that Striyaha Pumvad Bhashita Pumsakar Samadhikarane Striyam. So if you have a important thing is Samadhikarane. important thing. So there should be a samadhikarane striyam. There should be a feminine term as the uttarapadam. It should be samadhikaranam with the purapadam. The purapadam should also be a feminine term. Basically, a feminine adjective qualifying the feminine uttarapadam. In that case, that feminine purapadam will take the pumvad bhava. It will become masculine like. So basically, the stripatya which have been added at the end, they will have to go away. Simple as that. Now, why did we not use this itself when you're talking about karmadharya compounds? Because karmadharya compound, recall the definition of karmadharya compounds, the purushaha samadhikaranaha karmadharya. So then why did Panini have to put this second rule, 6342? For the simple reason that this had these exceptions, this anung, apurani, priyadishu, etc., these complications. Those nasty complications are not there in this sutra. Pumvat karmadharya jatiya deshiyeshu. So if you have a karmadharya compound, don't mess with this thing for karmadharya compounds. Come directly here. So you don't have to worry about these ung and this purani, etc. You don't have to worry about that. So, okay, one more time is if you have, so striyam, samanadikarane striyam. So when there is a feminine term following, which is samadhikaranam, with this purapadam, which is also feminine, but it is going to take a pumvad bhava. Basically, it's an adjectival feminine term, is the purapadam. There is a feminine term as the uttarapadam also. In samadhikaranam with that, then this purapadam becomes masculine like. In short, very simply speaking, in a Bahuvri compound, feminine adjective qualifying a feminine noun, the feminine adjective becomes masculine like. So let's look at this one. Let's see, I know time is running out, but we have a few minutes left. So striyaha bhashita pumskadanung samanadikarane striyam purani priyadishu. Okay, look at the vyakhyana. Bhashita pum, if you see these long, little bit nasty rules like this, complicated rules, look at the vyakhyana. It says bhashita pumsakad. So bhashita pumsakam. So what bhashita pumskam? So bhashita pumskam means that it says that, you look at the definition of that. Tulya pravritti nimitte yad ukta pumskam tasmat paraha. So it means that it is in the same meaning when a word can describe a masculine or a feminine in the same meaning, basically adjectival in simply speaking. That's called bhashita pumskam. So tulya pravritti nimitte, it has to be the same meaning, in the same, it has to be, the word has to be used in the same context. Tulya pravritti nimitte. Pravritti nimitte means that the nimittam for using that word is basically the meaning in which it is used, it should be the same. Yad ukta pumskam. So which has already described a masculine term. It has been used, or it can be used to describe a masculine item also. Tasmat paraha. Following that, because we have bhashita pumskad. Tasmat paraha. Ungo bhavo yatra. This anung is a avya bhava samasa. Very simply speaking, absence of ung. Now what is ung? This ung is sripatyah, is a feminine affix ung, which comes in the section from 1466 to 1472. So simply speaking, that purapadam should not have this sripatya ung at the end. That's one condition. So ungo bhavaha yatra. So this purapadam has these two conditions. It should be such a term that can also be used in the masculine in the same meaning, basically adjectival, and it should not have this ung pratyaya at the end. Tatha bhutasya strivachakasya shabdasya. So this is such a feminine term. Pumvachakasya iva rupam syat. It becomes masculine like. When does it become? Samanadhikarane stilinge uttarapade. Very straightforward. When you have a feminine term as the uttarapadam, which is samadhikaranam with this purapadam. Natu puranyam priyado chaparataha. We will see later on. Should not have purani pratyaya at the end. The Uttarapadam should not be like that. That's the Krishna Chaturdashi. Chaturdashi has a purani. Purani means what we call the ordinal numbers in English. Ordinal. Second, third, fifth, 14th. That the th in English, the th, that purani pratyaya. Purani means which finish up the number. Basically that nth number. That's the purani pratyaya. So that Uttarapadam should not be ending in the purana pratyaya, apuranyam. And it should not be one of these. What is kriyadi gana? This is again a gana. This is a set of words. If those are the Uttarapadam, then we don't get Pungvad Bhava. Okay, look at one more time. Says that Bhashita Pumsakad Anu means Ungo Bhavaha Asyamiti Bahuvrihi. So this entire term, Bhashita Pumska Danung, is a single Bahuvrihi compound. Single Bahuvrihi compound. And it is a complicated usage because within a compound we shouldn't have Bhashita Pumskad. How come this Panchami is staying inside the compound? Because normally we have Supo Dhatu Prarvedikayoho. Inside a compound, the sup should not stay. If you're making Bhashita Pumska Danung as a single compound, then why not supluk? That's one question, number one. That's why this sutra is a bit nasty. The second, because of this term is complicated. And the second thing is that what is the vibhakti coming after the whole compound? If Bhashita Pumska Danung, this looks like a prathama. What is that? But it should not be prathama because we have striyaha standing behind it over here. So what it says is that nipatanat panchamyaha aluk. This bhashita pumskad should be bhashita pumska. And shashtyascha luk should be anungaha. So here the shashti has taken, this is the bad part about this. There the shashti has taken luk. This is sautratvat. So it is, sautram prayoga. It is that in this, chandova sutrani bhavanti. So it is the, I guess not sautratva, but sautram is already, a tasya bhavaha. So that's probably not correct. You said it's not. But anyway, sautram means that this is the, in sutras, the things happen like this, which is, chandova sutrani bhavanti. Like in Vede, Sarve Vidyaha Vikalpyante Tadvadatreva. So, what has happened is that this Panchami of Bhashita Pumska should have taken look by Supo Dhatu Padavidikayoho. So, Nipatanat Panchamya Aluk. And then Shashtyascha Luk. The Shashti has taken look, which should not have taken. And the Panchami should have taken look, it has not taken look. If you make it into regular usage, it should have become Bhashita Pumsakanungaha. So basically it should have been like this. The form should have been like this. So because this Bhashita Pumskad should be Bhashita Pumska, Bhashita Pumskanungaha should have been a Shashti at the end, should have been there. And this Panchami should have taken look. So Nipatanat Panchamya Aluk Shashtyascha Luk. So again, simply, but this has all been translated down here, is that if you have a feminine term, which is simply speaking adjectival, which can also describe a masculine in the same meaning, there is no pratyaya at the end of it, then such a term, which is the Purapadam, takes a masculine-like form when followed by Uttarapadam, which is in Samadhikaranam, and as long as one of these Purani or Priya, etc. are not there. Let's take a simple example now. We have already saw this example actually. We have already seen the example of Chitragu. We saw this example in the prior class, I think last class we saw it, Chitragu. We already used Sutram, Chitragu. Okay, let's go back to that. So Chitraha Gavaha. Gavo yasya saha. So compounding is simple. Chitra plus jas plus go plus jas. Somebody who has these amazing cows or variegated cows. So anekamanya padarte, then saptami visheshane bahuvrihav, then pradipadika sannyas supluk. Now chitra become, this is the pumvat bhavaha now. Let's check all the conditions. Because we have a striyaha is a feminine term, bhashita pumsakadanung. This chitra can also be used to describe masculine term in the same meaning. It's an adjective. There is no pratyaya at the end. There is a ta pratyaya at the end. This is the one to check. There should be a feminine term which can also go in the masculine in the same meaning. There should be no pratyaya at the end. Then it should be samadhikarane striyam. This go is used in the sense, go can also be masculine, but right now is used in the sense of feminine, sense of a cow. So we do have, and this is samadhikaranam, you see, this is chitra, just, go, just. It's one who has wonderful cows or variegated cows. So there is a feminine uttarapadam, samadhikaranam with this term, which is also feminine, which is adjectival, which can go in the masculine in the same meaning. There is no pratyaya at the end, so we got dip vad bhavaha, means pratyaya top, which has come on top. it was taken out, chitra. Then we did the gostriyor upasajanasya, we got chitra gu. So one more time, we have this feminine term, adjectival. It can go in the masculine in the same meaning. There was no pratyaya at the end. The following was also a feminine term, which is samadhikaranam with this term, with the purapadam, and this is not the purani or priyadi ganaha. So we made the pumvad bhavaha, pratyaya top went away, we got chitra go. So let's go back to that one. I know time is running out. Let's see, maybe we can take one more. Chitra go. See this one. Okay, so the example here it is that chitra gavo yasyeti. This is what Siddhanta Kaumudi is given. Chitra gavo yasyeti laukika vigrahe. Chitra, this is Bhattoji's vigraha vakyam. Chitra as go as iti alaukika vigrahe chitra guho. Chitra guho. And here he says that, of course, we just saw that go striyor upasajanasya iti rasvaha. We know that ending go becomes go. Eche grasva deshe. Then chitra gu we just saw. Chitra guho. Now the next example, rupavati bharya yasya saha. The one who has a very good looking wife. It's a good looking wife. Rupavati bharya. Rupavad bharya he becomes. Same two steps. Rupavati is a feminine term. It's adjectival. It can go, you can get Rupavan also, you can get Rupavati, you can also get, there is no pratyaya at the end. This is a pratyaya neep, ugitascha. Then there is a feminine term as the uttarapadam, samadhikaranam with that. This is not either purani or priyadi ganaha. So then everything is satisfied. This becomes feminine like the pratyaya neep, which had come by ugitascha, is taken away. The pratyaya neep which had come by this sutram, ugitascha, because that vatu pratyaya is ugit, so that we had the ugitascha, had the pratyaya neep had come, that goes away, becomes rupavat, again becomes rupavat. So here we have rupavad bharya. Same thing at the end by go striyor upasajanasya, because we have pradipadikam ending in a stri pratyaya, and then it is has upasajana sanya and bahuvri compound, sarvopasajana bahuvri. So this takes the ras. Be careful now. These are two different things. Be careful. Don't confuse these two. That this is taking the rasva desha at the end. This is taking pumvad bhava at the purapadam. These are not two equivalent things. Of course not. Rupavati, if you take rasva, become rupavati. This takes pumvad bhava by 6334. By striyaha bhashita pumskadanung, by that sutram. While this one is taking the rasvadesha 1-48. You know, again, Gita example, sitapradnyasya bhasha, example in Gita. Rupavad bharya. Told that rupavad bharya. Today's last example, anunga iti kim. Why just say there should be no pratyaya at the end? Vamoru bharya. Somebody who has a wife who has lovely thighs. Vamoru bharya. So Vamo Atisundaro Uru Yasyaha Sa Vamoruhu. So this is a woman who has very beautiful thighs. Vamoru Vamoruhu. So now this pratyaya is ung at the end. Ung is at the end. So Vama plus Au, Uru plus Au. So Vamo Uru Yasya Saha. Vama Uru Yasya Saha. So Anekamanya Padarte and then Saptami Visheshane Bahuvriha. So look as usual. Do Ad Gunaha. Now this pratyaya ung comes 4170. 4170. This is not today's topic. When does the pratyaya ung come? But as I said to you, is ung pratyaya. I know time is up. We'll stop with this one. The ung pratyaya is in this section from 4.1. This is a typo. I'm sorry. I'm glad I caught this. This is from 4.1. 4.1, not 1.4. From 4.1. 4.1. 4.1. Striyam adhikara. 4.1. From 4.166 to 4.172. So 4.170 is one sutram. Again, this is not today's discussion, but it says Samhita Shafa Lakshana Vama Adeshcha. So basically, when one of these, this is the 4.170 is saying, is that when one of these is a Pura Padam, one Pura Padam, then so 4.170, let's look at 4.170 very quickly here, and we'll continue next time. 4.170 says that, it says, so when one of these, Samhita, Shapha, Lakshana, Avama, Nityevam Adehe, Pratipadikad, Uttarapada Striyam Pratyabhavati. Because Vama was a Pura Padam over here, but 4.170 says that the Uttarapadam will take the Ung in the Striyam at the end. So she became, we added the Ung, and then of course the because of the Halantyam, Anubandha Lopaha, Akasana Dirgha becomes Vamoru. Remember, we Angam has the Bhasanya. We cannot apply Yasyaticha. Yasyaticha is only E Varnantasya, Avarnantasya. Bhasanya. This is Uvarnanta. So Angam has Bhasanya. There is no Yasyaticha, only Akasame Dirgha. So Vamoru we got now. So it's 4.170 the sutram here, because Vama is the Pura Padam. Therefore the pratyas we use in the feminine. So this is, so Vamo Atisundarau Uru Yasyaha. So it becomes Vamoru, woman who has very beautiful thighs. Now this is a man who has a wife who has very beautiful thighs. Become Vamoru Bharya. Vamoru Bharya. So here, because this ung is at the end, it doesn't take pumvad bhavaha. So Vamoru stays as Vamoru, even though it's adjectival. It's a Bahuvri compound itself. Bahuvri is adjectival. So it is Bhashita Pumsaka. But still it doesn't become pumvad bhavaha, because the pratyaya ung is at the end. Now, the Rasvadesha at the end takes place. That is not stopped. Because the sutram goes through your Pasajana, that doesn't say anything about this ung, etc. So that is going to come at the end. So that will remain the same. Vamoru Bharya. But this Vamoru will not become Vamoru because of Anung. Okay. Let's continue next time. We will take it from here. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vihata Nishachara Chamu Rama Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasyada Sosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhotame Bho Rama Mamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahastranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane Sri Rama Nama Varanana Undamiti.